Hello guys and girls, welcome back to the Racing Line for another circuit guide here on iRacing. This is week 9 of season 1 2023 in the D-Class fixed GR86 Cup, once again with me driving the Toyota GR86. This week's circuit is Motorsport Arena Oschersleben, one of the new circuits here on iRacing, and it is a great circuit indeed. The date and time is set to the 1st of April 2023 at 1:45 in the afternoon. Same format as before, breakdown lap, followed by a full speed uninterrupted lap, followed by an offboard lap with some perhaps hints at overtaking spots, and of course this is filmed before the week has begun, so it's difficult to compare lap times, but let's see if we can help you guys find a little bit of time out there on this circuit. So we're on the main straight and we want to slowly drift over to the right hand side as we exit from that final corner. We're going to keep it to the right, ready for the fast left-right of turn 1. It's a unique little set of corners. We're going to just dab the brakes initially, followed by a heavy braking zone. I'll show you what I mean. First braking zone, this path on the right. Just dab the brakes ever so slightly and then get back on that throttle, just coasting through. Now the second braking zone is where the tarmac changes colour and we're going to brake in a straight line towards that apex straight ahead. Hard on the brakes from 4th to 2nd. Try and hold it tight. You can come out to around the middle of the circuit so that you can get a nice late apex and get nice and early on that throttle. Use all the track on the exit with minimal steering input so that you're not scrubbing off your speed on those tyres. Next corner is fairly straightforward compared to that. Braking zone, the orange square on the right, the little fire post on the right hand side. Dab the brakes, hard on the brakes, down to 2nd, hold it tight to the left hand side. Smoothly on the throttle on the exit. You can see we were on the power halfway round, lifted off and then straight back on it again. This next set of corners is quite fun. Use a bit of extra road on the right hand side as you go up into 4th gear, and then we're just going to lift off and downshift to 3rd as we get towards that first apex and then get straight back on the power before we have a similar braking zone to turn 1 where we're going to brake just at the end of this curb on the left in a straight line towards the apex, down to 2nd gear, and again holding it tight, feathering the throttle all the way round, just being careful and being ready to go full throttle as early as we can using all the track on the exit. Now, flat out through this right, flat out through this left, and we're ever so slightly going to dab the brakes as we exit the curb. Keep it in 3rd gear, dab the brakes, coast in, and then get back on that throttle as soon as you feel comfortable. Careful of the grass on the exit there, but use that little bit of extra curb because you can really carry speed and gain a lot of time through that section. It was an ever so slight dab of the brakes, so be aware of that. Now, next braking zone, in between the 100 and the bridge, around the 75 metre mark, closer to the bridge I'd say. Hard on the brakes, down to 3rd, get it chucked in. Keep it to the right hand side here because you can really open up this left just by lifting off and then getting back on the power without giving yourself a 1x on the exit. Get over to the left hand side. Now this, I wasn't going to make a braking zone here, but I ended up doing it. It's not really a braking zone. You're just going to dab the brakes, keep it in 3rd and get straight back on the power. Right over to the left hand side. Keep your car over this white line. Your next braking zone, the final braking zone, is the green triangle. Hard on the brakes from 3rd down to 2nd. 100% brake pressure. Careful of the rear end as we nearly lost it there and the traction control kicked in. You don't want to run too wide on the exit, but you can use that exit curve and up through the gears. And that is a lap of Motorsport Arena Oschersleben. A 1:38.7 running the fixed sprint setup. Now, let's go full speed uninterrupted, going over what we just went over. So we're on the right hand side, ready for turn 1. Looking for the path on the right. We're going to dab the brakes in 4th, coast in towards the apex, dab the throttle again. Tarmac changes colour, hard on the brakes, down to 2nd, out to the middle of the circuit. Keep that locking, keep that steering in as you accelerate out. Hit that apex curb, use all the track, start opening the steering, use the track on the exit. Get over to the right hand side now as you go out through the gears. You're not going to reach 4th. Orange point on the right, hard on the brakes, down to 2nd when you feel comfortable, and then from the midpoint of the hairpin start accelerating out and up through the gears you go again. You will reach 4th this time on this straight. Keep it on the right hand side, use a little bit of extra road if you need. You're going to turn in initially at full throttle, then you're going to lift off, downshift to 3rd at the next apex, get back on the power, and then at the end of the curb here, hard on the brakes, down to 2nd, hold it tight to the right hand side. Keep that steering input in. You should be on full throttle by the time the red and white curb ends, and then use that little bit of extra track on the exit. Flat out through the right and flat out through the left in 3rd gear. Dab the brakes, keep it in 3rd, get straight back on that power on the apex curb, and then use all the track on the exit. Careful of that grass. Keep it on the left now, in between the 100 and the bridge. There's the 100 metre board. Just now, there it is. Now hard on the brakes, down to 3rd. Get it turned in towards the apex curb. Keep it on the right hand side, just a slight lift off into the left and straight back on that power using all the track on the exit. Get over to the left. We're just going to dab the brakes in 3rd gear, get straight back on the power way before the apex, use all the track, over the white line, brake at the green triangle, down to 2nd, watch the rear end, get straight back on that power as you hit the apex, use all the track on the exit, and to get the best run you can down to the line for a 1:38.7. As usual, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it from me. So I'm going to leave you with this off-board lap. In terms of overtaking opportunity, I actually don't think there is much. Into turn 1 is risky, because if you're on the inside here, you're trusting that the car's not going to turn in. Going around the outside of this long roundabout isn't going to work either, unless you try and take advantage of that little inside line there, but contact will be had. I'm going to say a medium risk overtaking zone. I actually think this is the best bet of overtaking into this hairpin if you can get a better exit out of turn 1. But again, it's a braking diagonally across corner, so it's not really low risk in the end. It's actually medium risk again. Into this next section is pretty much suicide. As you come into here, you're not going to want to be racing through here. I'd very much suggest going single file all the way through this left-hander and indeed into this corner, because it's not wide enough to send it on anyone there. You could potentially get a better exit, but again, this whole section really not looking like it's made for side-by-sides, especially through this. Now here, there's going to be a lot of varying lines through here, and you will be able to get better exits than some people. If you can nail that corner and get a better exit, then yes, this next corner is an overtaking zone. I'm going to say this is low risk if you can get a much better exit, because it's hard on the brakes, and if you're on the inside, then the corner's yours. But of course, be careful, you have to keep the run on the exit. This next corner, not really an overtaking zone. Again, high risk because it's a shallow braking zone and high speed. And then the final turn is unlikely, because you'd have to be doing that previous corner a lot better than the car in front of you, even though it is a heavy braking zone. But getting a good exit can set you up for turn 1. If you get a good exit there, then you might do it. As usual, that's pretty much it from me. If I don't see you on track this week, I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace!